Hello and welcome to the Marine Channel. I've got something very special for you today because I'm here at the Brabus Marine stand and I'm going to show you this absolute beauty. What is it? It's a Brabus Shadow 900 XC cross cabin stealth green signature edition. That's a mouthful, but basically it's a very, very special boat. And I'm quite pleased actually this boat is out on the hard standing because you can see the hull. They've even highlighted down here using some of these blue lights some of the features of the hull because it's got a stepped hull. That is what gives this boat extraordinary performance. That and of course 900 horsepower hanging off the back of it. So let's give you some facts. This particular boat is £673,000, so it's not cheap, but it is fast. This boat will do about 55 knots thanks to, sorry, I'll just work my way through these very, very beautiful 450 supercharged engines. So these are V8s, supercharged, 450 horsepower per side, 900 in total. If you know something about cars, then you'll appreciate when I say this has got an active exhaust system. What's that mean? Well, basically the exhaust note changes when the engines hit a certain revs. Now you can do that manually or you can do it automatically on some cars. This one's got a manual system, and when you activate it, this thing sounds like thunder. Absolutely incredible. Can't do that because we're on dry land at the minute, but that's a neat feature. So come on, let's get aboard and tell you a little bit about this boat. Now the first thing about this boat is, well, hang on, let's talk about the upholstery first of all, because one of the things you can do on a Brabus is you can configure the upholstery, you can configure the hull colour. This one is this kind of a stealth green, and then it's got this kind of burnt orange upholstery with the quilting, which looks absolutely fantastic. Hope that's coming across on the lens, but in real life it looks beautiful, but you can play around with that. The other thing you can play around with basically is the configuration at the back of the boat here. So what you've got here is a raised area with a sun pad, because underneath you've got an aft cabin. Now if you don't need that accommodation, the other option you can go with is to have a much lower sun pad with some storage underneath, basically a wet locker for wetsuits and toys and bits and pieces, and the sun pad is then lower. And then the third option is effectively to do away with this altogether, have a bench seat at the back here, so you'd have 3 across the back here, and then you'd have sort of a wet bar area here, so you have a unit there with a sink and a fridge and all that. This particular configuration is probably the most popular because you've still got a sun pad and you have obviously got the advantage of some extra accommodation on that. But anyway, let's move along the side here. Very, very wide walkways, big side door here as well. We'll use that to get inside in a minute. Let's just make our way right the way to the front, go past the gull wing door. We'll talk about that in a minute. And now we can see we've got again this big sun pad area at the front, another seating area, and all these little blue pin lights, LED pin lights, which at night can look absolutely spectacular. And then we can see the gull wing door is open. When we go down below, you'll be able to see how that kind of makes sense. And this side obviously is down at the moment, so if both sides were down, that again would be a very big sunbathing area. Up on the roof we've got the familiar roof bars, so you can put your paddle boards on there, other bits and pieces. Now talk about Brabus. Brabus are kind of more associated traditionally with cars, and you can see some of that car expertise, if you like, bleed into the inside of this particular boat as well. I'll point a couple of things out in a moment. We're going to go in through this side door, which is enormous, into this cockpit area. Talk about the helms in a minute. Let's talk about this configuration with the aft cabin. So to get access to the aft cabin, you basically swing this seat up out the way, and then you've got 2 steps down into the cabin area. When that's down in place, this becomes a very sociable space, seating for sort of 4 or 5, and this table here will fold out as well, so that becomes a very usable dining area. Okay, but let's put that one back up. Let's show you this aft cabin. because it's quite impressive actually in terms of space. Step down, 2 little steps, and there you have it. Good natural light. This has got the blinds down at the minute, but you've got good natural light on both sides. Pretty good headroom as well. There is a hatch up here, but we've got the sun pad in place, so that's obscured at the moment. But again, you can imagine very, very light area and a good place for 2. And all these little Brabus reminders down here on this sort of leather and Alcantara. All the finishes on this boat are incredibly high end. Back up into the cockpit area, and we'll go forward and we'll have a little look at the helm position. So, a couple of big multi-function displays here, all behind this sort of big glazed panel. So everything is very glossy, very discreet, very well sort of packaged. Looks absolutely fantastic. All the little detail here with the illumination, the blue, just like the pin lights outside on the deck area as well. This boat has got joystick controls with sky hook to maintain your position. Obviously your helm's here. And then one of the things that I think sort of gives that clue about how this has got automotive pedigree is the way they use this area here, as you would see on a car typically, to put some of the essential kind of switch gear. So this is all, you know, music and bow thrusters and bits and pieces like that can all be packaged on here. Loads and loads and loads of carbon fibre absolutely everywhere that you look. Carbon fibre abounds. And then another little nod to automotive. You can see here, like they would have on the what they call the kick plates on a car. When you open the door and step in, sometimes you'll see the name of the car on there, and they put that on this boat as well. So let's just step down into the forward cabin. I guess you'd turn this to the master. You've got a little sink down here. Rather like this finish, it's kind of like a sort of a matte gloss kind of ceramics. All very, very nice. And then look into the forward double. Probably sleep the other way around, to be honest. I'd probably have my head this end and our feet down the other end. And then what you've got here is these steps for being able to get out, but they can flip up out the way. So at night, your feet or your head are not resting on those. And you've got these kind of gull wing doors on both sides. So same process here, that can open up as well. Very much like the old Mercedes gull wing many, many years ago. And it works really well. And a Tesla more recently, didn't they? They put it on one of their cars as well. And then we've got a couple of little seats here, one I'm sat on and one on the opposite side. But it's pretty spectacular in here, don't you think? Very exciting, isn't it? I've been wanting to get on one of these for such a long time. Now I nearly forgot, there is a head down here. It's compact, it's bijou, but it does everything you need. So you can certainly stay on here overnight. As I say, this is a statement boat. Flat out, this is a thing of absolute beauty. And I guess that's the only thing better than standing on one on the hard. It's being on one when it's flat out on the water. But we'll have to save that for another time. Anyway, in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed the brief walk around. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, leave some comments. We love all that, but most importantly, please come back and watch some more videos. It's why we do them. Thanks very much, and from all of us at the Marine Channel, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.